What's going on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all platforms? Welcome to another Giants Convo with yours truly right here on the ABS Network, the Aboriginal Sports Network with Unpopular Opinion Sports and Big Pat Sports Talk. We're going to get into this Giants Convo, man. We're going to be talking about some trade rumors about this man that's right here on our studio screen, Mr. Deebo Samuel, and a quarterback of sorts, and Matthew Stafford. So let's get into it. Welcome to Giants Convo. All right. Hey, Giants Convo. You know we're going to talk about a little bit about the Giants. Look out for the NFL All 32. Look out for Unpopular Zone right here on the Aboriginal Sports Network. NYG, there's been some rumors about Mr. Deebo Samuel coming to your Giants and some trade rumors, man. Deebo Samuel as a player, man, I think he's a better version of a Wan'Dale Robinson that we can use on this team. Although you can still use Wan'Dale Robinson on this team if you do decide to get a Deebo Samuel. I think Deebo Samuels can be a very good complement to a Malik Neighbors, not as an outside receiver, but that type of guy you could just get the ball to, and he could get those yards after the catch that Brian Daboll so desperately wants, as far as getting explosive plays with Deebo Samuel, giving them on reverses, jet sweeps, letting them run the ball. He can actually be a number 2 type running back to Tyrone Tracy. It's a lot to like about Deebo Samuel as far as a player. What do you think we can do with Deebo Samuel as a player here with the New York Giants? Because there are trade rumors out there about him. We're going to get into that article here in a second.
Well, I mean, just sticking to on the field, I believe he's definitely better than Wan'Dale Robinson. And I do think that he will help open up Brian Daboll's playbook. You know, the one we've been waiting to be opened up for some years now. And, I mean, I'm a Deebo Samuel fan, so I like this move. I like this idea. But there are some things that we're going to talk about, you know, that could hamper things. But we're going to get into it.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. So, first and foremost, let's actually get into the actual article that was actually put out there. Shout out to Patricia Trainer. She had this article out there. Now it says, new proposal lists Giants as potential trade destination for this receiver. Shout out to the 33rd team. We actually met them at the Senior Bowl, man. Pretty cool guys, man. Hopefully we can get some networking going with those guys. I actually have them right here on the Aboriginal Sports Network. Very cool guys, man. Now it says Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, and Malik Neighbors formed the core of the New York Giants receiving corps in 2024. We all know the stats of those 3 guys, man. We don't have to get to that, but it says, believes Mr. Tyler Brook, who we met at the Senior Bowl, of the 33rd team, who lists the Giants as one of the potential 4 trade destinations for the San Francisco receiver. You know, Neighbors got 1,204 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson was 699, and Slayton was 573. I think Deebo Samuel can get better stats than what Wan'Dale Robinson got in the same exact role with the New York Giants if we did trade him. So, the proposed trade scenario is the Giants would send the 49ers our number 65 pick, and we will receive Deebo Samuel and 112th pick in the draft. So like a 6th round pick in Deebo Samuel. For our
and you're giving up like a third
round. Yeah, third.
Mm-hmm.
our third round pick. Do you think that's pretty good compensation for Deebo Samuel? And you know that he has a 15.8 million cap hit for 2025. Now, given his injury history, and he has fallen off as far as putting up stats. He only had 670 receiving yards last year with the 49ers. But the season in 2021, he put up 1,400 in receiving yards, 1,405 receiving yards, and 365 rush yards with 14 total touchdowns. And a couple of years ago in 2021. Now, do you believe those days are far behind him, or do you believe he still could be that guy?
How old is Deebo Samuel?
Deebo Samuel is getting ready to turn, I believe, 29. Let me check that.
29, about 30. I do think he has something left in the tank, as they say. Now, we've talked about this a lot with the New York Giants, and that's the veteran leadership on this team. Now, you have a guy like Deebo Samuel who kind of fits the culture that you're going to be moving into, whether Giants fans want to like it or not. If they draft Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward with Malik Neighbors and Brian Daboll the way he is, they're building a certain type of culture. You know, the culture I hope they're building, which is a dog mentality type culture. Now, you fit Deebo Samuel into that, and you have a guy who has been to Super Bowls, you know, who has played at an elite level in the NFL, and who is still not, you know, over the hill, as they say. You know, if you get 3 years, 4 years out of Deebo Samuel, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? You have a young core of players who need leadership. You know, and they're going to be taking on that type of mentality of a guy like Deebo Samuel, especially with these receivers. I mean, let's keep it real. Little, you know, need a little toughness in that room, you know.
Yeah, I truly believe you bring a guy like Deebo Samuel over here, he's multifaceted, man. You can use him in a run game, you can use him in a passing game, and he's that type of player that Deebo needs for his system to work. According to what he ran last year, he is that guy that can break mad tackles, that can take a 2-yard pass to the house if you'll let him. The only thing that scares me about Deebo Samuel is injury history, but a third-round pick for Deebo Samuel, and if they're saying a third, maybe Joe Shane could work it where you can get him for a fourth. Who knows? And he only has one, you know, big year left on his contract, and only at 15.8 million. So that's not even in the top 20 of receivers. So that's not a huge cap hit for a receiver of his caliber. He brings toughness, like you said. He brings a grit. He brings a winning attitude. He comes from winning. You know what I'm saying? He had a down year this year. The only thing that scares me about Deebo Samuel is his injury history. But if you don't use him as a battering ram like the 49ers have been using him consistently, if he stays healthy, he gives you kick return, punt return, running back, receiver. I mean, grit, grind, leadership, toughness, winning attitude. This is the type of player that the New York Giants actually need to change the culture on this team. You know, he would fit well with Malik Neighbors. He would fit well with a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward if you brought him over here. He would fit well with a Tyrone Green. You know what I'm saying? It will allow you to use Wan'Dale Robinson more as a gadget player the way that he's supposed to be used. And now we will have two players that you have to worry about as far as doing that. You get yourself a decent receiver in the draft, and you can let him develop. He could come in and he could play some outside here or there. And, you know, when you want to put both those guys in the slot and you know, try to Like teams like the Eagles, you have to have guys like this, you know, that could create yardage after being hit. You have to have guys like this in the NFC East.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? So
Because they coming for your neck
yeah,
over here.
so a 6th round pick, a 3rd round pick, and we get a 6 back and Deebo Samuel. I'm not mad at that. I would try to make it into a 4th to see if we could get that done. But I'm not mad at this trade right here, this trade proposal right here. And Deebo Samuel will definitely bring some NFC East type mentality over here to the New York Giants. I promise you he will.
Yeah, but you know, you still got to talk about some of the concerns as well with Deebo Samuel. Now, we can get into those a little bit here. You talked about his injury history. Now, that's one thing that you got to consider, because the Giants are a team that consistently deals with injuries. So you got to worry about that. You're going to have to pay this man. He ain't coming over here for free. Let's believe that. Not leaving the comfy confines of San Francisco for the gritty streets of New York. You know what I'm saying? For a discount. That ain't happening. And you're going to have to give up draft capital. So, those are things you got to consider. While I'm definitely in favor of taking that chance, it is a risk. You know, now, you might be able to get by with the money because you're not paying nobody really, especially on offense outside of Andrew Thomas. But again, there's players on defense that are going to be coming up for contracts. You know, Kayvon Thibodeau's, and even right now, you got to make decisions on Azeez Ojulari and guys like Darius Slayton. So these are some of the things that you got to think about when it comes to making a move like this. Although I think it's a good move to make, I am kind of cautious now that I think about it a little more. I don't know, man. What's your thoughts, though?
You have to be cautious with a player that has injury history, such as Deebo Samuel. He's played through a lot of injuries in his career. His age really doesn't concern me. He's only 29. He will be 30 at the start of the season. So he's not over the hill. He's still a very productive player. And I look at it like this. Let's say they do give up a 3rd round pick for him. What players in this draft that can have an impact like Deebo Samuel that you can get in the 3rd round? See, that's what I base it off of. 3rd round pick. Maybe you can get a Cam Scatterbo. Does Cam Scatterbo make the impact that a Deebo Samuel does? I don't think so. You know, I think Deebo Samuel is playing the position that we need a lot of toughness at, and that is the receiver position. Because you look at this team, we're a little bit soft there. We're soft. Let's just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Wan'Dale Robinson, he plays as tough as he can at 5'7", 100 and maybe 80 pounds. Malik Neighbors is tough as nails, but he's a rookie. And Slayton, he's a good receiver, but he's not the gritty type receiver that the NFC East needs, you know what I'm saying, for Deebo's system. Now, if Deebo's system was more wide open, I wouldn't mind, having Slayton there, but they don't use him the way they're supposed to be used. Is high, tough, and gritty? No. You know what I'm saying? They got rid of Isaiah Hodgins. And I just think this dude brings leadership and at that receiver core. Like, he brings leadership. Like, Malik Neighbors would pay attention to Deebo Samuel. You know what I'm saying? He would try to add some things like a Deebo Samuel to his game as far as breaking tackles and everything. Now, the route running, no, Deebo Samuel is not a great route runner. He's just a football player. These dudes are just football players, bro. And you need some of those guys on this team. We don't have guys that you could just look at and be like, man, that dude's just a football player. No matter how he gets it done, he just gets it done because he just plays football. So, I'm with it. I don't know how you feel about it. Giants fans, y'all let us know in the comments how you feel about a trade for Deebo Samuel. 3rd round pick. Bringing this guy over here, a winning attitude to the NFC East, and just bring some toughness here, man. So that's my whole ordeal on the whole Deebo Samuel trade rumors with the New York Giants, man. NYG, you got anything before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Again, the Giants have made moves like this before, and they have backfired. So, Joe Shane told me and you and every other Giants fan that he wanted to build through the draft. So, I'm expecting you to continue to build through the draft and not make no hasty moves. Now, if you get a deal on Deebo Samuels, let's go. Let's go. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying too. If you could get Deebo let's just say it, if you could get Deebo for a 4th round pick, you pull that trigger, man. I'm just telling you.
Absolutely.
You for a 4th round pick, pull the trigger. Hey, and then we actually got 2 4th round picks because we getting a compensatory pick back for Xavier McKinney. That's been reported. So if you get him from one of those 4th round picks, man, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But that's been your Giants convo for the day from NYG and Big Pat, man. Until the next Giants convo, y'all know what time it is, man. Let's get it. Peace. Welcome